Hello members and welcome to another weekly market update. Please as always check the other video where I talk about the overall market conditions. Let's check in on some of the trades I've got going on right now. First of all, oil. There was the entry point and it hasn't really stopped going up since, and the options I took out on that are on fire. That's like a triple now. It's in a very short space of time. We've still got a long way to go. This is a very long-term trade, and we're in at the right time. We were in, can see the resistance. It was broken, pullback, entry right there, up she goes. I think you could probably expect a bit of a pullback. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it stays in this channel, but looking very strong indeed, and really nice gains on that. ANSS, there was the entry point down here, and again it hasn't stopped going up since really. 30% gain on the stock alone. IMMU. Here was the entry point down here. Up she goes. Another sort of entry point there I mentioned at the time. There was another second chance there to add to the position or get in if you missed it, if it was missed last time. $9. That's a double from the stock alone. We had a great result this week with that gap up on high volume and holding up there nicely. So that's an easy double so far and looking very strong indeed. Gold. We'll have to check in on gold every week. It's not a position, but I do keep an eye on it, and it dropped below the 200, so that was bad news on the daily chart. This is but the weekly chart seems to be the thing that's really, it's not really giving a crap about any of its moving averages, but what might be going on here is some kind of very long-term, slowly grinding. There is a trend line there now. We've got 4 touches actually of what could just be a very long, slow burning bull market in gold. I think as long as it stays in the channel like there, otherwise I don't know. Yeah, it's been wishy-washy for a while now, but I think that's its best hope. The pound. As we know, we escaped from that one, but I'm checking in on it anyway. There was a trend line, got in down there, had a nice profit, then it broke through that trend line and it's going down. The reason I'm looking at it is because there's a relationship between obviously everything and currencies and the dollar, and gold included. And dollar's at an important inflection point right now, because this is no longer kind of just a counterattack like this one. This is a line of resistance here with the dollar now, and it's an important inflection point for both gold and the dollar. The gold's at the bottom of this long trend line, and dollar is right there in that long-term resistance line. What happens next with gold and the gold-dollar relationship is going to be very important. If the dollar turns back from here, gold's going to go up, or vice versa, gold's going to go down if this one goes higher. But it's also going to affect, if you're trading currencies, you need to be watching this chart right here, because remember, everything's pegged against the dollar. And if I was long anything that it wasn't the dollar, I'd be thinking about closing that position if it breaks higher, and that a new kind of macro trend can be enforced there. So watch what happens closely there if you're doing anything with currencies. FCEL, which was one on the weekly chart. And this is it just seems to be so clean. This was the entry point around here, and it's just clinging onto that 40-week line as if it was a real thing, and just chugging along high there with all that upside to go. Slow burning one there, but it's a fun one. And ONCS was the other one that was very similar to this. This one is doing a similar sort of thing. It's just clinging onto that 40-week as it rises, and it needs to just hang on to that. RDNT. Yes, this one. Notice how after we had that weird day I explained last week, and look at that line there. The closing price ever since that weird action has been like identical, closing on the 13 line like that. I mean, look at that. Very rare sight. Bizarre, but we're in this one. I was in down here, and shot up and then had this weird action then, but look at that, that's very strange. Clearly there is buying at $13, so that's not a bad line to set in the sand, I say, as if it closes, the closing price is below that, I'll be looking at maybe getting out, because that's such a set line, and be ready for action like this as well, because clearly the specialist can see there's buying here and stops just there. So interesting. But anyway, nice running profit on that one. And DQ. This was the entry point around here, and it chugged along higher and sat there for a while. But this week had some nice developments indeed. It's gone up to a whole new level. So this is like a $20 rise on that, and it's like a 2,000 points up already. Really nice action here. And if it can get above that 68 line, that really will be significant. So very nice running position there on that one too. Nice entry point. That is all for this week. I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out on me. I've got quite a lot open as well. And I will speak to you in crypto.